Hey everyone, it's Tara here. I wanted to come out today and to talk about suicidal ideation. There's all these terms, and I think it gets us away from some of the, the energy below it, right? So we wonder to ourselves, is somebody just idolizing or having the idea of suicide, or are they actually planning? Well, I want to stay on the person who's talking about not wanting to be here, right? So some people who are not wanting to be here, there's very real reasons why they're not wanting to be here. And rather than just going, oh, they're not really wanting to commit suicide, it's holding space and allowing them it to be very real for them, very real, and for them to share the intensity of how much all the things and the thoughts that they have make them not want to be part of this existence, to truly listen, which is not easy to do if you love somebody, right? If you love someone, it's really hard to hear that they feel completely wrong. They feel useless to everyone. They feel like everything that they do is creating problems. And you may want to, rebuff that. You might want to change their mind. But really what's happening if you try to change their mind is they feel as though they weren't heard yet again. And that person really just needs to be heard in their pain. They need to be able to go all the way to all the places and to share how tragic all of this feels. And then you may go to the place of, is there anything that you want to do about it? Is there anything that you want to change? But you need to really tap in inside. Can they hear that next question? Because if they can't hear that next question, you may just need to be there with them in their rage, in their sadness, in their hopelessness, and to hold space, to hold them, to put a hand on, just to listen. You may need to be the person that just says, tell me more, and doesn't try to make it better. Because sometimes what's happening is inside their bodies, they're constantly putting the cap on the pressure cooker. So they're quelling things until all of a sudden one day it's going to break. Either it's going to break them, they're going to break in front of people, it's going to break their lives. And yes, that breaking can create things, but if you can create a safe place to break with you and allow some of that pressure out, what happens is something really beautiful. If you truly hold space for that pressure to be released, you also allow for the spaces inside of them for who they actually are, to fill those other spaces. And when they're not filled with all of their fears and all the things that they're trying to repress and keep in and not let out, when they're allowing those parts of themselves to come up that they might even be afraid of, like their desires, their gifts, their capacities, for those to come up and to take place, when they're not constantly touching all the volatility that's been stuffed inside their body, when it comes up and takes space in their body, they gain more motivation, they gain more clarity, they gain more a sense of self, a sense of fulfillment. And just by you being in a space with them, listening, allowing them to express, allowing them to then breathe into themselves is so key. So the thing that I often say to people is to get out of your head and into your body. Our heads, man, like the thoughts, have you ever tried to really change a negative thought into a positive one? It's like the greatest war ever. And generally that negative thought, because it's so heavy, it pulls you right back down again. But instead of trying to have this war here, if you drop into your body and you breathe into your body, what it does is it helps to release things, but it also helps to increase that wisdom that's inside of you, that deep connected wisdom. So if you're with somebody, one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself and for them is just to say, lay hands on yourself. Like put your hands on a place that makes you feel nurtured. Close your eyes and just breathe for a minute. You don't need to come back with any positive thing to say. Just breathe for a second. Allow yourself to drop fully into your body. And then from there, just even a 1% change can be all the difference that it makes. A 1% release of all the stuff that they are carrying around, and a 1% increase of who they are. What if it was a 10% increase of who they are inside their body, right? 10%. And that you did that because you just allowed them to express without trying to turn them around, trying to make them positive. We just are amazingly brilliant. I'm not going to say positive because we're all the things. We're all the things. When somebody lets you become all the things, you feel the currency, like the energy of your brilliance, and it changes things. So if you have someone in your life who's struggling, try this out. If you have somebody in your life who's struggling and you're struggling, if you need someone to hold space for you, and more, contact me for a complimentary session. And then if you want more sessions, you can go from there. Okay. Thanks, you guys. Have a wonderful day.